Here's why you need to boost your credit score ASAP and how you can do it. It doesn't matter how young or old you are. In a nutshell, a great credit score makes you look good financially and means that you have way more options. For example, you can access more and different loans and credit cards without being charged ridiculous interest rates. You actually have a shot at renting or buying a home of your choice, and it can even mean that you don't have to pay for things like security deposits for utility services. I'm sure you understand just how much easier your life could be with a good credit score, but what can you actually do to boost this score? I'll be whizzing through 8 things that you can do right away, so be sure to smash that like button down below and let's dive right into it. Okay, so before you even do anything else, you should have a clear-cut understanding of what a FICO score is and also the things that influence it. So a FICO score is another way of saying a credit score, and these are the things that go into that metric. 35% payment history, 30% amount of debt, aka credit utilization, 15% length of credit history, 10% new credit, and 10% credit mix. Most, if not all of these, are pretty self-explanatory. Payment history deals with how well you pay off your credit, the amount of debt deals with how much you owe, the length of credit history is just how much time you spent building credit, new credit considers how many new lines of credit you've built and at what points in time you built them, and credit mix deals with the variety of credit you owe. For example, auto loans, credit cards, home mortgages, and more. So with this in mind, let's look at the 8 ways to boost your credit score. 1. Get added as an authorized user on someone else's credit card. And this is something that I would particularly recommend young people do and that parents do with their children. Now, not everyone can do this, but if you know someone with good credit, they can actually boost your score by adding you onto their credit card. This might not work for everyone because 1, whoever is added to the credit card can actually negatively impact the primary card holder's credit score if they don't use the card properly. And 2, if the primary card holder has bad or the same credit as you, your credit score won't increase because by being an authorized user, you're basically associating with them and their whole credit history. So if you know someone with a good score who trusts you and is willing to sign you onto their card, then this can actually have a really big impact on your score. All you have to do is get them to contact the credit card company and ask them to add an authorized user to that particular card. Most cards are going to allow this. 2. Start building credit history. If you don't have any credit at all, I'd recommend getting started by applying for your first credit card. If you can't get approved for a credit card right now, don't worry because you can actually still sign up for something called a secured credit card. Discover actually offers one as well as many other companies, but pretty much anyone with valid income can qualify for a secured card because you'll need to put down a security deposit in order to get a line of credit. This means if you put down $100, you'll be given a line of credit for $100. This makes it very good for beginners with absolutely no credit history. It's a really important step because this is where you start building your credit, and as time goes on and you get more credit cards, your score will increase. 3. Pay off all your credit cards in full all the time. Paying off your credit cards is crucial to raising your credit score, and it's much easier nowadays with autopay, which is a service that most credit card companies provide so that you can automatically pay off your balances. If your credit card company does not have autopay, then run because that is not normal. If you haven't already, you should set up autopay for as many of your credit cards as possible because any missed or late payments can have serious negative effects on your credit score. So you need to find out when your last date of the billing cycle is every month, and you need to make sure that you're paying off your credit cards by the end of that month because it makes up 35% of your entire credit score. So yeah, payment history is probably the most important thing that you guys can do. It's pretty simple, but it's easy to forget a payment here and there. Set up autopay and you will thank me later. 4. Build multiple lines of credit. Now that you started building credit history and you're paying these bills on time, the next focus would be to start getting multiple credit cards. You want to do this because when you increase the amount of credit cards you have, the total credit limit you have will also increase. For example, if I have one credit card with a limit of $500 and then I get another card with a limit of $1,000, I have a total credit limit of $1,500 now. Getting multiple credit cards like that will strengthen your credit history because lenders will see that you have multiple credit cards that you're able to pay off on time. 5. Wait before getting new credit. You don't want to be getting new credit too often, especially at certain times. This is because when you apply for new credit, there is going to be a slight ding on your credit score, as they will be performing a hard inquiry or hard pull on your credit to see if you qualify. So you can see that if you have a bunch of different inquiries at the same time, that's going to effectively lower your credit score one at a time. Vendors could see you as a riskier borrower if you are applying for different lines of credit all at once, and they might think you're in financial trouble and need to borrow a lot of money. Even if that's not the case and you just want to start building credit fast, that's the way that lenders see it. So as a rule of thumb, it's good to wait on trying to get new credit if you want your score as high as possible in the short term. So yeah, new credit will temporarily ding your credit in the short term, but it will help it in the long term. Just understand that timeline and don't apply for credit before big events like buying a house. 6. Keep your credit utilization ratio under 30%, or better yet, under 10%. Basically, this means that you should not be using more than 30% of your total credit limit before paying it off. If you do go over this 30%, lenders are going to see you as a risk, because from their perspective, there's no need to utilize such a high percentage of the money you're allowed to borrow at once on a credit card or credit cards. You can actually speed up the process of raising your credit score by keeping that utilization rate under 10%. This means that if you have a credit limit of, let's say, $1,000, you should not be using more than $100 per month on your credit card before paying it off. Doing this proactively means you'll never go over that 30% threshold, which is definitely going to help increase your credit score. 7. Check your credit reports for errors. A really great resource for checking your report is annualcreditreport.com. It's a completely free service, and you can do this multiple times per year. If you see anything that is incorrect in your personal credit report, you should definitely call them and dispute it, and this goes for any debt that you want to negotiate too. Sometimes there can be errors in your credit reports, and it's more common than you think. The most common mistakes that occur include missing accounts, accounts being reported more than once, and reports indicating that closed accounts were closed by the grantor and not the user. When accounts are being reported more than once, it looks like you have higher debt than you actually do, which is definitely not something you want, because it can seriously jeopardize your credit score. Anytime you see an error on your credit reports, I encourage you to contact the credit bureau, as well as whoever provides the info to the bureau. Under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, if the error is real and legitimate, then they need to correct it. You can absolutely look up guides across the internet to help you do this. If you successfully take care of any errors on your credit reports, you can significantly boost your score. 8. This is super simple, and I sort of mentioned it already, but it's very often overlooked when it comes to raising people's credit scores. And that is asking for the credit card companies to just increase your credit limit. It's actually really easy, and the worst thing that they can say is no, and it gets even easier as you build up a history and reputation with that credit card company. One of the best plans of attack is to apply the strategy to the card you spend the most money on. Remember that credit card companies look at the credit utilization ratios of each card too. So yeah, very simple thing that you guys can do if you have credit cards and you want to actually increase your credit limit pretty easily. So those are 8 ways that you can boost your credit score and aim for that coveted 800 score. Credit is so important. It's going to affect you anytime you're borrowing money or trying to leverage. So be sure to act on these tips and save this video so you can always come back to it when you need it. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the thumbs up button down below, comment any thoughts or questions that you might have, and subscribe with notifications turned on so you never miss out on useful personal finance and investing tips. See you next time.